The Mexican Redknee Tarantula belongs to a lineage far older than fear itself. Long before spiders became symbols of danger in human imagination, their ancestors were already mastering survival in a world dominated by giants. Fossil evidence places early arachnids among the first terrestrial predators, emerging when land ecosystems were still experimental, unstable, and unforgiving. From this ancient foundation, tarantulas evolved not toward speed or venom potency, but toward endurance. The Mexican Redknee Tarantula is a product of this philosophy. It is not built for pursuit. It is built for waiting. Its evolutionary success lies in conservation, of energy, of movement, of risk. Over millions of years, natural selection favored individuals that did not rush, did not overreact, and did not expose themselves unnecessarily. In harsh, dry environments where food is unpredictable and shelter is scarce, restraint is a survival trait. Physically, the Redknee Tarantula is imposing without being aggressive. Thick, muscular legs anchor a dense body covered in fine sensory hairs. These hairs are not decoration, they are instruments. Each one responds to vibrations, air movement, and pressure changes, allowing the spider to perceive its surroundings without sight. Vision, in tarantulas, is limited and secondary. Awareness comes through touch and vibration, not observation. The most striking feature, the red-orange bands on its legs, serves no direct defensive function. They do not warn predators of venom, nor do they camouflage the spider. Instead, they act as a visual signature, a biological identity marker shaped more by sexual selection and species recognition than by survival necessity. In nature, not every trait must be practical. Some simply endure. The body of the tarantula is divided into two primary sections, the cephalothorax and the abdomen. Within this compact form lies a slow but powerful musculature capable of sudden explosive motion. While the spider may remain motionless for hours or days, it can strike with precision in fractions of a second. This contrast, stillness punctuated by violence, defines its hunting strategy. Venom, contrary to popular belief, is not the tarantula's primary weapon. The venom of the Mexican Redknee Tarantula is mild, designed to subdue insects rather than defend against large animals. Its true defenses are behavioral. When threatened, it prefers retreat. If escape is impossible, it employs a display, raising its front legs, exposing fangs, and signaling readiness without commitment. Only as a final measure does it release urticating hairs from its abdomen, barbed projectiles that irritate skin, eyes, and respiratory tissue. This layered defense system reflects an animal evolved to avoid conflict. Every escalation costs energy. Every injury risks death. The tarantula survives not by winning fights, but by preventing them. Longevity further distinguishes this species. Female Mexican Redknee tarantulas can live for decades, an extraordinary lifespan for an invertebrate. This longevity changes everything. Growth is slow. Reproduction is infrequent. Survival strategies prioritize caution over speed. Where many spiders live fast and die young, the Redknee tarantula commits to patience as a life strategy. It is this temporal scale that makes the tarantula feel ancient. Its movements seem deliberate, almost ceremonial. It behaves not like an insect reacting to stimuli, but like a relic moving through time at its own pace. In a world of urgency, the tarantula waits. The daily life of the Mexican Redknee tarantula unfolds at a pace that feels almost disconnected from the modern world. Time, for this spider, is not measured in minutes or hours, but in conditions. Light, temperature, humidity, and vibration dictate movement. When conditions are wrong, the tarantula does not adapt its schedule. It waits. Habitat selection is central to this lifestyle. The Mexican Redknee tarantula inhabits dry forests, scrublands, and semi-arid regions where cover is limited and exposure is dangerous. Rather than roaming, it builds or claims burrows, shallow tunnels reinforced with silk and debris. These burrows provide thermal stability, protection from predators, and a controlled environment from which the spider can operate. The burrow is not merely shelter. It is strategy. From the entrance of this retreat, the tarantula becomes an ambush predator. It does not hunt by searching. It listens. Sensitive hairs along its legs and body detect minute vibrations produced by insects moving across the ground. Each vibration carries information: size, speed, distance. The spider interprets this data in real time, deciding whether the energy cost of attack is justified. Many opportunities are ignored. When prey is selected, the strike is sudden and decisive. The tarantula lunges forward, delivering a bite that injects venom sufficient to immobilize insects and small arthropods. Digestive enzymes begin breaking down internal tissues almost immediately. Feeding is slow and methodical. There is no rush. In an environment where meals may be separated by long periods of scarcity, efficiency matters more than speed. Feeding behavior shifts with season and availability. During periods of abundance, the tarantula may feed regularly, building energy reserves. During droughts or colder months, it may go weeks or even months without food, relying on stored resources. This metabolic flexibility is key to survival in unstable environments. Behaviorally, the Mexican Redknee tarantula is notably calm. Unlike many spiders that flee at the slightest disturbance, it often remains still, assessing rather than reacting. This calmness is not passivity. It is calculation. Movement attracts attention. Stillness conceals. Social interaction is minimal. Tarantulas are solitary by design. Encounters with other members of the species are rare and purposeful, primarily limited to mating. Even then, interaction is cautious. Males approach females with ritualized movements designed to signal intent and avoid being mistaken for prey. Courtship involves vibration, touch, and timing. Mistakes are fatal. Daily activity peaks during the night. Darkness provides cover, cooler temperatures, and reduced predation risk. During daylight hours, the tarantula remains within or near its burrow, retreating deeper if conditions become harsh. Rain, temperature extremes, or prolonged disturbance can trigger extended periods of inactivity, during which the spider conserves energy and waits. Molting is another defining aspect of daily life. Growth occurs in stages, with the tarantula shedding its exoskeleton periodically. During this process, it is extremely vulnerable. Movement is limited. Feeding stops. Even minor disturbances can result in injury or death. Survival during molting depends on seclusion and stability, reinforcing the importance of a secure burrow. Throughout its life, the Mexican Redknee tarantula maintains a delicate balance between exposure and concealment. It must emerge to feed, but retreat to survive. It must move to reproduce, but remain still to avoid detection. Every behavior reflects an evolutionary compromise shaped by time and environment. This spider does not dominate its habitat. It endures within it, and in that endurance lies its success. Reproduction in the Mexican Redknee tarantula is a high-risk negotiation shaped by caution, timing, and restraint. Unlike many fast-living invertebrates, this species invests heavily in survival over reproduction. As a result, mating is infrequent, deliberate, and dangerous, especially for males. Males mature faster and live significantly shorter lives than females. Once sexual maturity is reached, the male's priorities narrow. Feeding becomes secondary. Wandering increases. The burrow, once a place of safety, is abandoned in favor of movement. The male begins searching for a receptive female, guided by chemical cues and vibration patterns embedded in the environment. Approach is everything. A female tarantula is not passive, and she does not tolerate ambiguity. The male announces himself through rhythmic tapping and vibration, a coded signal designed to communicate intent rather than threat. Each movement is calibrated. Too slow, and the opportunity passes. Too fast, and the male is attacked. If accepted, mating is brief. The male transfers sperm using specialized appendages, then retreats immediately. There is no bond, no protection, no second chance. Many males do not survive the encounter. Evolution has accepted this cost. The species continues. Females, in contrast, invest in longevity. After mating, egg development is slow. An egg sac may contain hundreds of eggs, but success is never guaranteed. The female guards the sac obsessively, rotating it, protecting it from mold, parasites, and disturbance. During this period, feeding may stop entirely. Energy is redirected. Risk tolerance drops to zero. When spiderlings emerge, there is no nurturing beyond proximity. They disperse quickly, driven by instinct and competition. Mortality is extreme. Only a fraction survive to adulthood. This is not failure, it is balance. The environment decides who continues. Predation shapes every stage of this life cycle. Despite size and intimidation, the Mexican Redknee tarantula is not invulnerable. Birds, reptiles, mammals, and specialized insects prey on both juveniles and adults. One of the most effective predators is the tarantula hawk wasp, which paralyzes the spider and uses it as a living incubator for its larvae. Against such threats, size and venom mean little. Avoidance is the only defense. Human interaction introduces a different kind of pressure. For centuries, tarantulas have existed on the margins of human awareness, feared, misunderstood, exaggerated. Folklore painted them as aggressive and deadly, despite their generally docile nature. This reputation did not protect them. It exposed them. The Mexican Redknee tarantula became a target of fascination. Its striking appearance and calm demeanor made it desirable in the exotic pet trade. Wild populations were harvested extensively, often illegally. Females taken from the wild represented decades of lost reproductive potential. Recovery was slow. In some regions, populations collapsed. Habitat destruction compounded the problem. Agricultural expansion, land development, and infrastructure fragmented the environments tarantulas depended on. Burrows were destroyed. Microclimates altered. Movement corridors vanished. Unlike fast-breeding species, the Mexican Redknee tarantula could not adapt quickly enough. Yet interaction with humans is not uniformly destructive. Increased scientific understanding and legal protection shifted perception. The species became a symbol of conservation success among invertebrates. Captive breeding programs reduced pressure on wild populations. Education replaced fear with context. Still, the relationship remains fragile. Tarantulas do not benefit from proximity to humans. They tolerate it at best. Their survival depends on space, stability, and time, resources increasingly scarce in a human-dominated world. What defines this spider is not its danger, but its vulnerability. It is powerful in form, restrained in behavior, and fragile in reproduction. Every loss echoes for decades. Every survival matters. The Mexican Redknee Tarantula occupies a quiet but essential position within its ecosystem. It is not a keystone species in the dramatic sense, nor does it dominate food webs through numbers or aggression. Its influence is subtle, expressed through regulation rather than control. By preying on insects and small arthropods, it helps maintain population balance in environments where unchecked insect growth could destabilize fragile systems. Its burrows alter the landscape in small but meaningful ways. By disturbing soil and redistributing organic material, tarantulas contribute to microhabitat diversity. Their abandoned burrows become shelter for other organisms, from insects to small reptiles. Even in absence, the spider leaves structure behind. Ecologically, the Mexican Redknee Tarantula represents a strategy rarely celebrated: longevity over abundance. It does not flood its environment with offspring. It does not spread rapidly. Instead, it persists. This makes it particularly sensitive to disruption. Systems built around patience do not recover quickly from sudden loss. Recognition of this vulnerability eventually led to protection. International regulations limited trade, and conservation frameworks acknowledged that invertebrates, too, could face extinction. For the Mexican Redknee Tarantula, this marked a turning point. Legal protections slowed population decline. Captive breeding reduced demand for wild-caught individuals. Awareness reframed the spider not as a threat, but as a responsibility. Yet protection on paper does not guarantee survival in practice. Enforcement varies. Habitat loss continues. Climate patterns shift unpredictably, altering temperature and humidity conditions critical for survival and reproduction. A species adapted to stability now faces accelerating change. This raises uncomfortable ethical questions. How much effort should be invested in protecting a creature many people still fear or dislike? What value does a slow-moving spider hold in a world focused on speed and utility? The answer lies not in aesthetics, but in integrity. Biodiversity is not preserved because each species is loved, but because each one represents an irreplaceable solution to survival. The Mexican Redknee Tarantula embodies an alternative narrative of success. It demonstrates that survival does not require dominance, visibility, or aggression. It requires patience, consistency, and alignment with environment. These are traits increasingly rare in a human-altered world. Looking forward, the future of this species depends less on innovation and more on restraint. Preserving habitat, respecting legal boundaries, allowing ecosystems the time they need to function. The tarantula does not ask for intervention. It asks for space. If that space remains, the Mexican Redknee Tarantula will continue as it always has, emerging at night, sensing vibrations through the earth, retreating into silence when danger approaches. It will not announce its survival. It will simply endure, and in that endurance, it offers a lesson easily overlooked, that life does not need to be loud to be successful, nor feared to be powerful. Sometimes, survival is achieved not by conquering the environment, but by fitting into it so precisely that removal becomes the only true disruption.